Alrighty, we can start. Again, I will introduce myself for the ones who just joined us. My name is Zoe. I'm an application engineer at Central Innovation, and today I'm going to take you through to what is SolidWorks Product Data Management Tool, also known as PDM. What I will cover in this webinar is that first I will give you a brief introduction to SolidWorks and then a brief introduction to SolidWorks PDM. I will show you how SolidWorks PDM is structured. I will talk about the different versions of SolidWorks PDM, and I will show you the elements of SolidWorks PDM, and later on I will take you through the SolidWorks PDM interface and show you how you can manage SolidWorks PDM. SolidWorks is more than just a CAD tool. It has a complete tool set, including 5 distinct product lines. It has its design tools to create your models and assemblies. It has simulation tools to test the design and ensure it is the best it can be. Also, it includes the tools to assess the environmental impact of your design through its product lifecycle. In addition, it has the tools to repurpose the TreeCAD data to simplify the way companies create, maintain, and consume content for technical communication, and so on. All of these 4 tools are underpinned by SolidWorks PDM to manage and securely control your data, keeping a single source of the true data of your designs. All of these solutions work together to allow you to make your products better, faster, and at a lower cost. Let's take a closer look at SolidWorks PDM. When developing a new or existing product, a volume of engineering data is generated. CAD files, reports, and other supporting documents can be thousands. Making sure that the right version of the right documents get to right people within your organization is critical to ensure that your project is delivered on time and on budget. In fact, SolidWorks PDM helps you in this regard. SolidWorks PDM manages and synchronizes the design data across your entire organization in a centralized and secured vault. Let's see how SolidWorks is structured. Okay, so SolidWorks PDM is basically built inside Windows Explorer. It is easy to implement because it has an interface that you already know. So all people within your organization can switch to SolidWorks PDM and engage very quickly. Okay, so if you wanna start using SolidWorks PDM, you can make sure that all people within your organization will adopt quickly because the familiar user interface. So SolidWorks PDM, in fact, is a data vault which is powered by Microsoft SQL Server. Guaranteed all information is securely stored and indexed for fast retrieval by authorized users within your company. All stages of your design can be configured and customized based on your organizational rules. Okay, and as you can see in this picture, it's some sort of visualization of the different people working in different sectors within your organization. For example, you have manufacturing team, you have control quality control team, you have design engineers, and you have other sectors within your organization. Okay, and all of these people work together to implement every project. Inside SolidWorks PDM, what you can do, you can create different groups with different names. For example, this is a case. For this vault, there are 5 different groups, which is admin, administrator, control change, engineering, and read only. Okay, and then you can bring different people at different level in your organization under different groups. Okay, and then you give access to different group at different levels. For example, engineering people can in addition that they can see your data and engineering data, they can create changes, they can approve changes, or they can order any change and start a new project. Okay, so definitely the level of the access of for engineering group is different with read only read only group, and also it is different with change control group and so on. Usually admin has a full access to all engineering data at all levels. Okay, and in this way you can make sure that right people have access on time to right information, engineering information, in fact, and you can make sure that wrong people are stayed away from your engineering data. For example, read-only people will not be able to do any changes your engineering data. They can only see the data, okay, and visualize it. The other good thing about SolidWorks PDM is that it supports a wide range of engineering of the data. For example, it can support the SolidWorks or SolidWorks files or other CAD files. It can also support Microsoft Office files, which is related to engineering data and documents, and so many other files. Later on, I will show you in detail that how this interconnection is happening inside your vault. Let's talk about SolidWorks PDM versions. Okay, if you talking about SolidWorks PDM versions, there are 2 versions of for PDM. One is a standard and the other one is professional. SolidWorks PDM standard is included with SolidWorks Professional and Premium versions. It has the same architecture used by the current SolidWorks PDM Professional. This makes PDM standard 100% compatible with PDM Professional, which allows you to easily upgrade from a standard to professional at any time. The other thing that I like to mention here is that SolidWorks PDM standard usually when you want to install the SolidWorks PDM standard, you need to use the Microsoft SQL Express version. And if you wanna upgrade to SolidWorks PDM Professional, you definitely need to switch to Microsoft SQL standard version. If you want to see more information about the differences between 2, you can simply go to the SolidWorks website and find out more information about the difference between these 2. Next, I will talk about the SolidWorks PDM key elements. These are the 5 key elements of SolidWorks PDM. It has a user interface that you already know. You can find your information very easy inside the vault. You can organize your way, develop your designs, and share your data. Okay. So in this webinar, the purpose of this webinar, in fact, is that I will introduce you briefly to SOLIDWORks PDM, but I won't implement any design change. I will just make you familiar that what is SOLIDWORks PDM, what sort of user interface do you have, what sort of information you can get. Hopefully in a subsequent webinar, I will take you through the rest of the elements. In fact, I will give you a bit of information of each element, but in the next webinar, I will take you through a complete use of SOLIDWORks PDM when you want to create a design change and define a new project. Okay, so let's switch to SOLIDWORks PDM and see what's happening. When you are installing SOLIDWORks PDM, an app called SOLIDWORks PDM Administration will be installed. Okay, as you can see here. And there are different vaults here. So I will enter to mountain scooter, this vault, mountain scooter. And as you can see, even if as an admin, every time come to this vault, they need to have a username and password. Okay, and it comes from the level of access that they have been given by the admin. But usually admin has right to do everything to your vault. If I log in, as you can see, there are so many different categories that you can customize and categorize based on your organizational rule. You can have different information, different settings for bill of materials. You can have different settings for data cards for your different files and so many other things. And I will just talk about few options here. If I'll show you the workflow, because to me it's very important. As you can see, for this vault and for every project which locate in this file, there is a workflow, okay, which all of this workflow can be customized again based on what you want. So this workflow to somehow defines the process design for your projects. So it is in this way you can manage your data step by step in the design process. The next thing that I'm going to show you is that users. As you can see here, I have limited number of users, but they, okay. I'm not sure that if there is any limit for the number of users, but in addition to users, you can have different groups, which I showed you in the slide. Here. So as you can see, I have admin, I have administrator groups, change control, engineering, and read only. I can bring any user under these groups and then control their access by assigning different levels of access to these groups. Okay, this is the way that you can do all the customization and settings for your vault. So I won't go more in details inside the SOLIDWORks PDM administration. So I'll try to close it. This is just a brief introduction that how does it look like. After that, I will take you through Windows Explorer. Yeah. And as you can see in Windows Explorer, inside my local C drive, I have few vaults, which is, this is the indication for vaults. So I will take you through this vault. Usually for your organization, you have one vault for the whole and entire organization, and all engineering data are categorized inside that vault. And you can have different foldering, you can have different structures to the way that you define the folders and name the folders. So all of these things can be customized. Okay, as you can see, this is in this vault, I have a folder for templates. I have a folder where all of the PDF files are saved. I have a folder as named as libraries, and then all of the toolbox and common parts are saved here. And then I have designs. If I go to designs, you can see I have so many different projects, and the naming are in order, as you can see. I can go, what I want to show you, if I go and create a new project, let's define some specification here. Again, all of this can be customized. So let me go back and again come back to this folder. You can see that this project has been, a new folder which is automatically named based on the setting that I have set up inside the administration tool. So it has been created, and it is already included some subfolders. Inside the subfolder, you can see I have a folder named design data, documentation, specification, and a file word. Okay. If I go to another project folder, for example, project 0007, you can see I have the same folder structure for my subfolders, the same naming and the same number of subfolders. So you can see that you can do every stage of your project automatically. You can do some automation. For example, here you can do foldering, and the way you structure your folder, you can set it up, and then every time that you create a new project, you have the same setting for all your projects. So let's go further, and I will show you more information about the engineering data. Look at this Word document. This is definitely includes some engineering data about the project 0007. And inside the vault, inside the Windows Explorer, no matter what is the type of the file that you choose, you can get some information from this part. Okay, you can preview the file to see what is information, what information it includes. You have a data card for every file, and this data card can be customized based on again what you want, and it can be varied from different vaults. As you can see, you can have the number of versions of this file. So as you can see, there are already 3 versions of this file. So bill of material for this one doesn't make sense, but I will talk about it later. And also it can tell you that if this if this document is referenced to another document, which in here there is no reference for this document, but later on you will see it when I take you through the project, some design design files. So what I'm going to show you here, I can open this file directly from the vault. And as you can see, it's synchronized to Microsoft Word, and there is a section that it shows you some information. Actually, it interconnects the Microsoft Word to SOLIDWORks PDM. And inside SolidWorks PDM, inside Microsoft Word, you can add any information. The project started, for example, on July. Let's name it a title. Hood. You can name it, you can number it, you can define the manager, the sponsor, and so many other information. And then, as you can see, again, you can check the local version here, and you can change the state of this document through here. So you can send it for approval, submit it for approval, or you can say no approval is required, depends on what is your role and what sort of access you have to this document. And then if you can see, you can check in or check out the file from here. Let's check out the file from here, and then I will, because for every time that you want to create a change to any file, you need to first check it out from the vault. And then Hood project. So I will name this project Hood project, and then I can save it and check it in the vault. Just please have a look at the version. Now the version is 3. Now when I create a change to this document, I can check it in to the vault, and as you can see, a new version of the document is added. Okay, so when I checked it in, I can close it, and it takes a bit of time. So again, you could see, because I didn't save it, it didn't save the revision, but anytime that we create a change to a document, it will keep track of the new revision. Okay, so let's move on and show you more information. The other important information that you can get from any vault is that you can see the, let me go to some engineering data. For example, for this project, for this file, as you can see, it gives you the current status of this file, including that who is working at the moment at this file, when it has been checked out, and if it's already checked out or checked in by any other person within your design team. As you can see, admin here has been checked out this file, and it's not checked in the file, means that admin is currently working on this file. Okay, so this gives you a very important information in terms of that it prevents that two people at the same time are working on the same engineering document. So you can share these data within your design team. The other thing that I can show you, as you can see, this is an assembly file. If I get a preview of the assembly file, it will show, using e-drawing in the preview section, it will show you what is the file. As you can see, this is a mount scooter. You can zoom in, zoom out, and you can get so many information in the preview section. Also, it includes the data card, which gives you different information in the data card. It gives you how many versions of this engineering file is existing. it also gives you a bill of material of the assembly. As you can see, it listed all the engineering, all the files and other engineering documents that this assembly has, actually a bill of material. The other things that it gives you the references that this document has. For example, this assembly includes all of these parts and sub-assemblies. And also it tells you that where it has been used. Actually, this is the top assembly, so it doesn't show you where it has been used. I will go to this folder and show you that. Let's go for this specific sub-assembly. As you can see where it's used, it shows that this sub-assembly has a drawing and also it has a PDF file. So it shows all of the related documents to this engineering data. In addition to that, it shows that all of the references, in fact, all of the references that this sub-assembly includes. It gives you the bill of material for this specific sub-assembly. You can see that there are currently 6 different versions of the file, and the current revision of this file is revision A, as you can see here. And also there's a data card, and you can preview the assembly and you can open it directly from here inside SolidWorks. Okay, so it will connect you to the SolidWorks, and inside SolidWorks you can also have access to PDM information. So I want to check out this file. And as you can see here, again, you can get almost the same information that you could get from the SolidWorks and from the File Explorer, from the local vault. So it gives you the information that this file is already checked out by admin. So the rest of the files are not checked out. So I want to open this specific part. As you can see, it gives you a message because I have been given the permission to change this document, and it says you are able to make any changes to the following documents. But I'm not going to make any changes. I'm going to just show you what is going on. So first of all, I will check out this file. And as you can see, there are currently two versions of this file, okay? Here inside the SolidWorks, what it happens, anytime that you create any change to your file, it will keep track of all of the changes that you have created, and anytime you can get access to the previous version of the file. For example, if I now it is the second version. If I go back to the first version, in fact, so there is no difference between these two versions. Okay, it has been a mistake. Let me do some changes. Doesn't matter. As a person who has permission to create any change, I will add a small hole here. Okay. And as you can see, when I check in the file, a new revision is added to this part. Okay, I will check in the part, and you can see the version is added here. When I create the change, I can easily change the state of the this file and send it to either submit it for approval to the project manager or to my boss, or at this stage, depends on my role, I can say that it doesn't need any approval, so I can move it forward in the design process or in the workflow. But I'm not going to change any, create any changes here. My purpose is just to show you different possibilities. So the other thing that I will show you, when I close this one and go back to this assembly, again, you will see that the current status of this change, it's showing here. The version previously was 2, and now you can see that there are 3 different versions of this part. So you can see that when I recall the a different version of this sub-assembly, as you can see, the all of these signs is changed inside the vault. Okay, any of them are indicating of some messages. For example, this red sign is giving you the warning that the latest version of this subassembly is not updated. You need to get the latest version. Okay, as you can see, I have switched to the third version, and it's not the latest version that I have been subassembly. So easily you can get the message here, and you can get the latest version if you wanna update it. As you can see, as I update the latest version, this message will be gone and everything is updated. And also it shows at the moment that admin is working. This file is checked out by admin, so you can keep track of at which time by whom and which change has been created to this file. So again, I close the SolidWorks and exit from the file. And if I come here and check the version, you can see that it's showing me again 6th version because I didn't save anything. So in this webinar, I showed you an introduction to what is PDM and how does it look like and how you can manage your data and get access to your data. I had showed you that how you can structure your SolidWorks PDM, create different groups, assign different people to different groups, and give them access to engineering data. So in this way, you can make sure that right information at right time is given to right people, which ultimately lets you to finish your project on time and on budget. So hopefully in the next webinar, I will give you a more detailed understanding how you can create a project and design and do the changes, start the project and do the changes and finish the project using SolidWorks PDM, and in this way how you can manage your data through the whole project. Again, I hope that you find this webinar useful and hope to see you in the next webinar. If you have any question, please write your question in the chat box and I will answer to your questions. So I'm not receiving any questions, so I'm assuming that you don't have any question. So thanks again for your attendance and hope to see you soon again in the next webinar.